Hello there, welcome back. It is, well, for you I think it's like Friday or something, but for me it's Sunday morning. First day of football season, pretty excited. Okay, we're going to talk about section P4. I changed my pencil so it's nice and skinny. Lines in the plane. So the first thing we have to talk about is the slope of a line. I'm pretty sure you all know that slope is represented by the letter M. And we say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, I'm a little bit different than probably other teachers that you've had. I think these 1s and 2s are awful. I think they're very confusing. I don't like them. I like to just say y minus y over x minus x. And here's why. So if you have the coordinates 2, -3, and -5, 4, right? Which one's y2? Which one's y1? I don't know. Pick one. Pick which point you want to start with. The bottom? Okay, so we're going to go 4 minus -3, because remember you have to do minus, and if it's negative you have to do minus and negative, over, now since I started down here, I have to start down here for the x. -5 minus 2. Well, 4 minus -3 becomes 4 plus 3. -5 minus 2 is -7. The slope is -1. Fabulous. Pretty sure you're all pretty good with slope. I'm not going to make you do 100,000 of them. But I'm going to show you something pretty cool. So we have this formula. y2 minus y1 over x. Oops, x2 minus... oh, forgive me. x1. If we solve this equation by multiplying both sides by this bottom, because remember, if you multiply both sides by the denominator, it cancels out over here and it shows up over here. So what we end up with is and maybe if I write that with this on the left, it will look familiar to you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. I'm teaching it to you now. But this is a very cool formula called the point slope, there's a dash here, form of a line. Now, whenever I say line, people are like, oh, I know that, y equals mx plus b. Okay, it's a little more than that. Y equals mx plus b is the slope-intercept form of a line. There are 3 ways to write the equation of a line. There's 3 forms. The first form is y equals mx plus b, which is called, hold on, let me make a little chart. Slope, that would be my dog. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. It's called slope-intercept form because it has a slope and an intercept. How about that? Point-slope form is if you're given a point and a slope, you would want to use point-slope form. And then general or standard form. What do we say it equals? I guess they say plus c. I like ax plus by equals c better, but I guess I'm wrong. You're not going to use this very often, but you're going to have to know how to get to this, how to rearrange it so that your equation looks like this. This is the one you should worry about the least. These 2 you have to know inside and out, backwards and forwards. So let's try one, shall we? The question says, write the equation of the line that passes through the point -3, -4, and has a slope of 2. So there's only one line on this graph that goes through this point and goes up 2 over 1. There's only one line. We have to figure out what the equation of that line is. And it doesn't say, yes, it says leave your answer in point-slope form. So we're going to do just that. So point-slope form says y minus y1, so minus -4, equals m, which is the slope, times x minus x1. Now, minus, 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 these all become pluses. Y plus 4 equals 2 times x plus 3. So you're probably thinking, how would I ever graph this? Well, there's lots of ways you could graph it. You could make a table of values and pick numbers and say if x is 0, then this is 0 plus 3, which is 3, times 2 is 6, subtract 4, 2, and plot all those points. Or you could say, well, I know I have to start at -3, -4, and go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and there's my line. And then if you had a nice piece of graph paper, you could see what the y-intercept is and write it in slope-intercept form. But the question was, write the equation in point-slope form of a line passing through this point with this slope. This is your answer. You're done. All there is to it. Pretty fun, huh? What else do you have to know? Slope-intercept. So, write the equation in slope-intercept form of a line passing through -1, 6 with a slope of 3. Now, there are two equally easy ways, if that's the right English, to do this problem. First, we could use point-slope form. Notice I put plus 1 because it's minus -1. And solve for y. This is an equals. So the slope-intercept form for this line would be y equals 3x plus 9. Or we could plug into the slope-intercept form because we know y, it's 6. We know m, it's 3. We know x, it's -1. Just figure out what b is. Some people prefer this form. The problem with this form is that people want to stop here. Oh, I found b, I'm done. You actually have to rewrite it back here and say y equals m x plus b. Notice, both forms give you exactly the same equation because there's only one line that goes through this point that has this slope. But to get it in slope-intercept form, you can either use point-slope and solve for y, or plug into slope-intercept and solve for b and plug it back in. I think they're equally as easy. Pick whichever way you like better. It's no problem. Okay, so talking about solutions of linear equations, you might be asked to say, is the solution, what is the solution to y equals 3x minus 2? Now, if you were asked how many solutions are there, well, there are infinitely many solutions because it's a line that extends indefinitely, and all you have to do for a solution is tell one point on the line. The question might say, tell if 1, 1 is a solution to this equation. So you'd plug in 1 for y and 1 for x and see if it's true. 1 equals 3 minus 2, 1 equals 1. Yes, this point is on this line. Is 2, 3 a solution? Put in 3 for y and 2 for x and see if 3 equals 6 minus 2. Does 3 equal 4? No, not on the line, not a solution. Okay. Now, the other thing is graphing a line that is not in y equals mx plus b form. So, if we have the equation 2x plus 3y equals 6, that's in standard form, because remember standard form is ax plus by plus c equals 0, or if you subtract c, that's also in standard form because we just moved the c over. So this is in standard form, which is pretty much useless, but I thought I would tell you that. Okay, so in order to graph this line, we want to get y by itself. Anytime you have to graph a line, you're going to probably get y by itself. So minus 2x minus 2x. 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. I'm going pretty quickly because hopefully you've graphed more lines than you care to even discuss in your life. Okay, and there's the graph of the line. If you were to put it on a graph, you would start at positive 2 on the y-axis, and you would go down to over 3, and there's your line. Beautiful. On your calculator, you would go into y equals, and you would type the negative sign, and then 2, and then divided by 3, x plus 2, and then you would push graph, which is over here, and it would look like this, hopefully. We're going to talk more about calculator stuff as we go, because you guys have to get really good with those calculators. Okay, the last part of what we have to talk about is parallel and perpendicular lines. So I think you've probably done this before. I'm going to give you a question and see what you can do. Write the equation of a line that passes through the point 1, negative 2, parallel to 3x minus 2y equals 1. Pause the video, see if you can figure the equation of the line that passes through this point parallel to this line. Now I don't care if it's in slope-intercept or point-slope form or general form. It doesn't matter to me. Just pick whichever way you like best. Pause the video and figure it out. Okay, so hopefully you've already paused and you've done it, and now you're just going to watch me do it. Before I can do anything, I have to find the slope of this line. I don't know it yet because it's not solved for y. So I am going to subtract 3x from both sides. And then I'm going to divide by negative 2. And y equals 3 halves x. Now this part, it's actually minus 1/2 because it's a negative, oops. It's a negative 1/2. But this is where people get all worked up. What do I do with the 1/2? This doesn't matter. This line crosses the y-axis at negative 1/2, but it has a slope of 3 over 2. All we want to know is a line parallel to this line going through the point 1, negative 2. So the y-intercept of this line, we don't care if it's up here, up here, up here. None of that matters. All that matters is the slope, because all we want to know is how to be parallel to it. So don't get worked up about the y-intercept of this line. It doesn't matter. This is what we care about. So our new equation of a line is going to be, y, I'm going to go point-slope form because I think it's easier. Y plus 2, because remember it's minus y1, which is negative, equals 3 halves times x minus 1. That's it. Oops, I wrote 11. Oops. That's it. There's your equation. Now we could solve that for y to put it into slope-intercept form, but we're not going to go that far. So that's parallel. Parallel, you have to find the slope of the original line and then write a new equation of a line with the same slope. Parallel lines have equal slopes. That's really important. Last slide. How about if you've made it this far, write, what can we write on the top of our notes? Let's write rock on at the top of this page, and I'll give you an extra 5 points because you made it this far. But don't tell anybody because that wouldn't be very fair. Rock on. Okay, last one. Find the equation of a perpendicular line. So the point is 2, negative 3, and we want to be perpendicular, this is the symbol for perpendicular, to the line 4x plus y equals 3. So first we have to find the equation, or the slope of this line. So we're going to subtract 4x. So that was easy. Slope's negative 4. The perpendicular has to have an opposite, that means a different sign. Reciprocal, flip it over. So the slope of our perpendicular line needs to be positive 1/4. Oh no, where did you go? Okay. Positive 1/4. Does that make sense? I hope it does. -4, opposite, means make it positive. Reciprocal, flip it over. So our new line is going to be, again, in point slope because it's easier. Minus a -3 becomes +3. M times x minus 2. There's our new line. Awesome. Now the problem is, on a graphing calculator, you can't type this in. But what you could do is you could type 1 divided by 4, parentheses, x minus 2, minus 3. Because think about it, if you minus 3 from both sides, you could type this directly in your graphing calculator and it will show you the line. So I think you should do that for fun. I know, it doesn't sound like fun, but it is. Type in this line in y1, type in this line in y2, and notice that they are perpendicular. Very, very cool. Okay, I think I'm done. We're going to do some graphing stuff with word problems when you come into class.